earlier just embraces young people. And so, in looking up to that type of rapper, that hip hop generation will just embrace that kid. Be like, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Talk. You rap. Yeah, get your hustle on. Rap about whatever. Just rap disrespectful, whatever. That's cool. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. So hip hop just embraces young people in that way. I meet young cats like I go down to a couple of schools and work with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and I run into 6th and 7th graders talking about shooting you, and while they're rapping and talking about slinging crack and stuff, and I'm like, dude, you're not shooting anybody. You're not slinging crack. Rap about something that's real, that will make a difference. Rap about getting good grades. Rap about being a good kid. Rap about something that's positive, that will actually do something in your life and in your family's life. But oftentimes, it's hard to follow that example because it's never around. Flip on the radio, turn on the TV, see what my older cousin's doing, my uncle's doing, and it's all negative. And it's just really like a one-track mind. Like, to be on radio now, it's pretty much has to be just one type of thing. And there's no room for variety. There's no room anymore for KRS-Ones or Public Enemies. And so my challenge to young people has always been, don't give up on hip-hop. Don't turn your back on hip-hop. Embrace hip-hop and start listening to cats like K-Drama. Start listening to cats like Lecrae. And like, I'm getting blank stares because these people are not promoted. But their music is incredible, and they're saying positive things in their music. So get on those cats. Follow those cats' example, because they're actually living godly lives and doing godly things. And so hip-hop is kind of messed up right now. Much like church culture oftentimes. A lot of churches I go to and a lot of just different church cultures I'm involved in oftentimes are messed up because oftentimes we follow what the state religion established, not what Christ instituted. So we live out this hierarchy scheme within church culture, which in my studies, I think that the early church, like in the book of Acts, I think they had the authority set up. They had deacons and presbyters, and they had this formula, but they served from a Christ concept of serving each other. So the last shall be first type of thing. So the leaders were the last, and so the leaders served the people, and we're up underneath the people serving. And oftentimes what we see now in our culture is that the leaders are now on a pedestal, and they're like perfect, and they're like got their own parking spot. I heard a story about Pastor Pifus, how at Lincoln Heights, he said, get rid of my parking spot. I don't want a parking spot, which is great because we're not off on the side somewhere like we're, perfect people, but we're just servants. And that's the real motto, I think, that Christ came to show, a motto of service to one another. And I get into arguments with a lot of folks about this. I've been in an ongoing argument with my friend in Indianapolis about this, about the early church was not what we think church is, because the early church had a temple to go to. So the temple, Christ didn't come to abolish the temple or to get rid of the Jewish laws or whatever. He came to fulfill it. So the early Christians went to the temple, and so. What I would be telling cats, my argument is like, so back then there wasn't really church as we know it. So what Christ came to institute was not an order of service, but a new way of living. When I look at the gospel of Christ, I see it always relating to living within the context of other people, within the context of community. So in other words, he came to bring a new way of life. A new way of worship, not a worship when the song is on, musical worship, but a lifestyle of worship every day. Because I know with me, when I'm in a mentality of prayer, it's hard for me to wild out on somebody. It's hard for me to get mad at somebody and just go off or come up with crazy, lustful thoughts when I'm in a mindset of prayer. It's hard to do that. And if we're always in a mindset of prayer, that's that new lifestyle, a new way of living in community together, a new way of gathering together for the sake of all people present, especially the poor. so that everyone is taken care of. We see in Acts, everybody was taken care of. So like when we leave here, everybody should be good for the week. You know, everybody should be good, have enough money, have enough oomph, enough encouragement to last you the week. A new way to redistribute the funds and services so everybody's taken care of. Basically, a new way to serve each other in Christ. And so the thing about church being all jacked up and messed up and hip-hop being all jacked up and messed up, what I'm realizing is that the purity of Christ's message and the positive vibe of hip-hop, those things never left. It's just that outsiders came in and put a different face on it. Constantine came in and put a different face on it. These corporations came in and put a different face on it. And so in my life, I'm realizing, I'm through with, trying to be bitter about it or upset about it. Just gravitate towards the people that are doing positive hip-hop. Gravitate towards the people that are serving God and are loving God and living out Christ. And get around those people and just love with them and serve with them and make dope, fresh hip-hop with them and just live with them. And so to make it personal, I mean, you may not be into hip-hop, and that's cool. I mean, you don't have to listen to hip-hop or even like it. I don't like a lot of music, but that's okay. But my challenge to make it personal to you is, as a Christian, what face are we putting on Christianity? Oftentimes in church culture, we're very holy inside here, very holy. But I have a tendency to believe that sometimes when we leave here, we put a different face on it. And so my question for me and for you to make it more personal is, what face am I putting on Christianity through the week? Because whatever we're doing, whatever we're saying, that's what other people are seeing Christianity is all about. And that's one reason why a lot of people don't go to church anymore. Oh, they hypocrites, they this or they that. Because we put a bad face on it for so often. But I don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. It's a very personal thing now. So what face are you putting on it? And for the young people in here, or if anybody that's trying to do hip-hop for that matter, but especially the teenagers growing up in hip-hop culture and being around it and submersed in it, the question to you is, what face do you want to put on hip-hop? Are you wanting to put on a face that has just been handed down to you, given to you, just fed into your system from corporate America, a face that's just all about you and about wealth and about money and disrespect? Do you want to put that face on it? Or do you want to rise up and be a man, a woman of integrity and put a different face on it? Put a face on it like, I see that. That's cool, but